Hi, this is Ken Wolf from courtyardly.com, and I'm also the artistic director of Manhattan Repertory Theater in New York City. I am here with actress and creative artist Chelsea Clark, and we're going to talk to her about her creative career. So, Chelsea, how are you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Good, good, good. Can you tell me a little about yourself and your work as an actor and a creative artist?
Sure. Well, as you know, my name is Chelsea Clark, and I am a actress here in New York City. I've been in over 100 plays in New York, which has been absolutely fantastic. I've done so many student films here in New York too. You know, we have NYU here, we have Columbia, we have SUNY Purchase, which is close by. So I've just my philosophy in life is just do as much as you can and see where that gets you. And so far, I'm having a blast, and I can't wait for more.
That's great. Can you tell us about your origin story? Like how'd you get into
Mm.
acting and all the other things you do? Because you also podcast and do other things, correct? Yes.
Yeah. So I'm from Ohio originally, where my mom, when I was an itty bitty kid, put me in acting lessons, thinking that if I could memorize, that's mostly school. So like, I'll be fine in school. I'll just have to memorize and I'll be fine. But being in acting lessons at the age of 2, 3, 4, 5, like really I got the bug. I fell in love with acting. I fell in love with being, just a creative person in general and like all of the arts, dancing and singing and acting, like all of them. Like I just fell in love with the world of creativity. So I think I decided when I was either 15 or 16 years old that I kind of want to try acting, like serious like. So I told my mom, and she was like, okay, well, I saw in the paper the other day that this woman is having auditions to take people to New York for this like modeling acting convention. Do you want to go? And normally I was a pretty shy kid. So my mom was thinking there's no way that she's ever going to say yes. And I was like, yeah, I'll go to the audition. Sure. Why not? So I went to the audition. I was one of, I think, maybe 5 or 6 people that was chosen to go. From there, when I got to the convention, I got scouted by the School for Film and Television to go to their 6-week acting program in the summer. So I went and did that. And then, oh, yeah, that was really great. Then I went to their 2-year conservatory actually after I graduated high school. And during high school, I did like a performing arts program for like the last year. I was in a high school program the last year. So I like half of the day I was spent doing like normal school, like math and reading and whatever else people do in school. I don't really remember. It was a long time ago. And then the second half was doing the fun stuff, the acting, the dancing, the learning backstage, what to do, how to be a stage manager, how to make I don't know what those kids did, like the tech kids. I've learned a little bit of that, but that wasn't really my forte. So then after the conservatory, I just stayed in New York doing as much as I could. And yeah, it's been great.
That's
So that's the
wonderful.
origin story. It's a very long origin story again.
That's a long origin story. That's great. I love it. I love it. So can you tell me about what was the most fun experience you ever had on stage?
Okay, so the first thing that came to mind when I saw that was the Civil War play that we did at Manhattan Rep when we
Hmm.
all had to die. I've never had to die. That was the one and only time I've had to die on stage. And it was fun. I mean, here I am getting shot. And like it was fun. Like I love that.
That's great. I love
Um
that production too. I was actually going to even ask you about it because it was such an adventure. And I
it
know
was
for
such a great play, and like with the accents that we had to learn and the mannerisms that we had to learn, because it takes place during the Civil War, so it was just completely different world.
yeah, and Charlie Feinslover is a great playwright. He's a great
Oh
guy.
yeah, he's fantastic.
He's wonderful. Yeah, that was fun. That was
Yeah,
a great, wild, different experience, and it turned out so
wild
well.
ride. Yeah.
I had to die once on stage. It was actually my first show in New York. It was Cain by Lord Byron, and I had to play
Mm.
Abel.
Oh,
I did killed. And then I had to lie on stage for like 25 minutes where people came over and like beat on my chest and
oh, no kidding.
yeah, it was it
Oh,
was
that's
it
great.
was for our first play in New York City, it was a nightmare. I was just a kid. I
Yeah.
was like, what's going on here? It was crazy. So yeah, so I've been there and
hmm
it's fun. So what else? What are you working on right now?
Oh, well, right now I'm doing a stage reading of it's called The Last of the Freudians, and it's a play by Joseph Krosnick, who I've done one other play of his. It was called The Man Who Found Troy, which was about Henry Schliemann, who was the archaeologist who actually found like discovered the ruins of Troy. You know, he was obsessed with it, and I played his wife, Sophia, who was this beautiful Greek girl who was, I think, 17 when she met him. Because in the play, I had to span from being 17 years old to being, I think, 39 at the end of the play.
Fun.
So it was quite, quite the range that I had to kind of portray like this young, innocent person, and how she kind of, ages throughout the play. And I that was one of my favorite plays too. I love historical fiction. Obviously with the Civil War play and this play, I like portraying people when they lived back then. That's always really a lot of fun for me. Oh, this play was really great too because I also played Helen of Troy. It was kind of like this dual kind of storyline where I played Sophia, but then sometimes it would go into kind of this dreamlike sequence, and I would also play Helen of Troy. So that was a lot of fun. That was really a lot of fun for me.
That's wonderful. So how do you plan on utilizing the Courtyardly platform for your career promotion, et cetera, et cetera? What are your thoughts?
Definitely to connect with other artists. I think that anything that we do, if it's more of a collaboration, it always makes the work so much stronger.
Hmm.
So I really want to collaborate and meet other artists.
Nice, nice. The thing I love about it is it's a global platform. And
Mm,
I know in the pandemic, I met so many people, actually met the Courtyardly people in the
mm.
pandemic because everybody reached out to everywhere on Zoom and LinkedIn and whatnot. And it's really kind of wonderful to be connected to a
Yeah.
global community. And I love
Yeah,
that.
which is so fantastic. I mean, the pandemic, of course, is awful and everything, but I feel like we've kind of opened ourselves up a little bit more and been able to connect, worldwide, which is just really, really awesome.
Yeah, it's great. Super. So what are your goals? What are you doing next after this reading? What do you want to do?
Uh,
What's next?
let's see. Well, I am doing a web series with my roommates right now. It's kind of it's kind of based on our lives, but also a little, heightened because it's a
Hmm.
comedy. So the one that we just shot was called Demon Couple. And I think everyone in New York can relate to, living next to like complete lunatics where they're like
Hmm.
screaming and yelling at each other all day. So we kind of took that idea of like living next to people who are just like yelling at each other and kind of heightened it a little bit. So that's coming out pretty soon. And then we're going to shoot a new one. I don't know which script we're going with because we've written several,
Hmm.
but we have some things coming up. Yeah,
That's
so
great.
it's fun.
That's wonderful. I want to thank you for being here for Courtyardly's artist interview. It's always just a joy seeing you and working with you. And I just wish you the very best.
Oh, likewise, Ken. Always a pleasure. You can't get rid of me.